Multiversus relaunch roster predictions. I may have went a tiny bit overboard with it, but I still had fun with this. So let's take a look, shall we? So before we begin, I do want to pose the question to you guys because I'm genuinely curious. How many new characters do you expect on the relaunch roster when the game comes back? I'm genuinely curious about that. I've seen people say 1. I've seen a few people even say 20. I don't know how you expect 20 new characters. That's a lot of development. Then that practically saves nothing. But I am curious nonetheless. Let me know your answers down below. So for me, this prediction is more on the fun side of things. I have 7 here in this video, but realistically, I expect 2 or less. But to begin, let's go over prediction number 1. Crewmate or the imposter? Now, yeah, I know. It's from the tweet. It's from the tweet. When Multiversus tweeted out, hey, testing, mic drop, whatever that was. And then the Among Us was like, hey, yo, what's up? Hello? And that blew everybody's minds. Like, why did this happen? There has to be a reason for it. So there's only 2 possibilities for my inclusion for this prediction. It's either they tweeted that for a reason because there's a collab going to happen, or that's just my mind playing tricks on me. So my hype is overtaking my common sense in this case. But for funsies, I do think that crewmate or the imposter is going to happen, because can you imagine the Multiversus new cinematic trailer coming out, and at the very end of it, all of a sudden, I don't know, the imposter pops out of a vent or something crazy, and then you imagine the stage that we could have with that. Ooh, I'll take that all day. So prediction number 1's crewmate / imposter. Prediction number 2, this one's going to be one of the more obvious ones. Daffy Duck. He's just too iconic. He's just too important to leave off of the roster. He's just too important. The outcry from him was absolutely massive. So I think being a relaunch roster, having another super iconic character that the community, that the fan base can really just rally around. Like, yes, we want that. And he's on the roster, the launch roster. So that's 100% the right call in my opinion. So he's one of my predictions. Prediction number 3 is going to be probably the most obvious out of all of these. At this point, it's just kind of like, all right, just show us already. So we all know it's coming, and that would be the Joker. We all know he's coming, so like just show us already so we can be like, hey, we knew it. All right, let's move on to the next thing. Not that he doesn't deserve a spot at all. It's the Joker, for crying out loud. But I'm just saying, when something is spoiled to us, then it takes away the specialty from the reveal. So it's like, I'm excited, but not as excited. So it's kind of like, great, he's there, but let's get that reveal out of the way and move on to the next thing. It's kind of a weird situation, but it's one of the easiest predictions for this. Prediction number 4, I was actually on the fence about even including this character, but ultimately I tilted to one side, and that character would be Marceline. I think Tony putting out that poll is ultimately what kind of convinced me. I wasn't convinced she was even going to happen in the game in the first place. There was no reason to, honestly. But then Tony just happened to put out a poll because he's seen everybody talking about it. And it was like, all right, Tony caught wind of what was happening. So as a game director, he's going to do what's best for the game. Everybody's talking about a character, so we're going to take that character and then make him playable in the game. And Marceline would be fantastic, nonetheless. She's got so much potential. Love to see her. A lot of people want to see more female characters on the roster, so there's that box checked. So perfect. Marceline, launch day roster. Next character, I don't think people are going to be surprised, but a lot of people are forgetting that he even exists, and that would be...
I'm Pickle Rick!
Is he not going to be like a launch day roster? Isn't that going to be like perfect? It's just like, hey, here's another character. So if you don't know, he was originally supposed to be an alternate costume, but then turned into his own character, and he has his entire own moveset dedicated to him. So it's like, yeah, this kind of feels like a no-brainer. Why would they save him if he does share some similarities to Rick Sanchez already? A couple of the moves were pretty similar, but for the most part, he's got a lot differences. But are they really going to save this for their own solo character release? I don't think that would make sense. Just kind of like, hey, welcome back. Here's a bunch of characters. Pickle Rick's just one of them. That's just kind of how I feel about it. So he's predicted. Prediction number 5. simply because they showed off one of the two stages. I think one of those two characters are going to happen. And of course, those two stages were either for the Powerpuff Girls or Dexter. So we're going to predict the Powerpuff Girls. This one, I'm very, very interested to see how the character turns out. I want to see, is it a 3-in-1 character? Is it a 3-as-1 character? How do they operate? Is it a Ice Climbers or a Tom and Jerry type situation? Are all three of them out on the battlefield at the same time and they just kind of help each other out? Or is this like a Pokemon trainer where you can kind of like swap in between each of them? How are they going to work? I'm very, very curious about this one, so I'll be keen to see how the Powerpuff Girls play out. And the final prediction for launch day roster, I think you need another heavy hitter, and who better? I mean, I guess you could argue there might be some better. That's not the point. The prediction is Samurai Jack. I think another character that just, in another sense, kind of like Daffy Duck or maybe Joker, maybe to a little lesser extent, it's just another character that's like perfect. Yes, give that character to us right now, right away. Let us enjoy this character. This is somebody that should just be on the roster already. So launch day roster, in my opinion, feels like a very, very, very solid idea. So those are my predictions for the launch day roster. But again, realistically, I only expect like 2, because I want to talk about this just for a minute or two. So, other than that, the video is probably over. Nothing else new. But my opinion on the overall number of characters for launch day roster, I don't think we should get many. I really don't. I don't want the game to give us 5, 8, 10 characters at relaunch and say they only have 15 characters that they've worked on. Like, characters take a lot of time to develop. We all know this. So realistically, if you expect double-digit characters on relaunch for new additions, I don't see how that's possible. Honestly, the game's been offline for not even a year. But I mean, I guess we haven't really had a real update for about a year for the game. But just characters, where are they? Like, I don't. It's tough to say how many characters they had saved, because there were some that were like data mined. I won't mention those in case people want to avoid spoilers. But like, the point, they have some characters. How many have they worked on? I don't expect too many. That way they can sprinkle them out as they come. I would love 1 character a month. If that is possible for the dev team, 1 character a month would be a fantastic way to just increase or keep up the appeal of the game. We're constantly getting something, a new character, a new stage, a new mode, whatever it might be. So 1 character a month would be perfect. So I don't want too many at launch, but I still want enough where it's like, all right, yes, we got something new to play with for those returning players. So just my little opinion on that. Either way, that is my prediction. We'll see how it turns out. If I get any of them, if I don't, I don't know. It's all for fun. That's all I got for this one. Hope I see you on the next one. What is my outro? I always forget.